and not ever. This is the Baseball Insider Show, presented by BCWSA. A look deep inside the game from a former player's perspective. The Baseball Insider Show, presented by BCWSA, is brought to you by BCWSA, The Pines Tavern, Penn Community Bank. We now go live for the Baseball Insider Show, presented by BCWSA. Now, here are your hosts, Phillies Director of Fun and Games, John Brazier, and former pitcher from the '93 National League champion Phillies, Tommy Greene.
Live from Team Toyota in Langhorne, Pennsylvania, Mike Warren filling in for John Brazier. Great to be joined by Tommy Greene of the '93 National League champion Phillies and Tom Mellon here from Team Toyota. The Baseball Insider Show here on WBCB. Great to be with you folks as the Philadelphia Phillies 13-13 on the season, looking to get back above 500, Tommy. And the one thing that we were talking about before the broadcast started, hitting with runners in scoring position, really plaguing this team of late.
Yeah, I mean, you're hitting the nail right on the head right there. And the first thing I want to say, you're a lot better looking than Brazier. So it's good to be working with you today. And hopefully, I mean, talk a bit of baseball. And I hate to see them at 500 after the way they started, but they've been through a little lull, and it's been a combination of things. It's not just been one avenue, or just hitting, or it's been some of both, pitching, hitting, and they're just not on the same page right now. And they've got to find a way to do that, start picking each other up. I think Kevin Stocker said it pretty good yesterday. I was listening to him when I was traveling back to the house a little bit afterwards on the round table they do. About the little things, the picking each other up type. When something happens in the field, the pitcher striking out a guy, or that type of thing. And those are just the little things. You don't have to be huge things. You have to hit home runs or anything like that. It's just the little things that mean a lot. It gets that train going down the track the right way, and gets the confidence in things. And I think it's just, it could be worse. That's the way I look at it. We started out 7-2, and now we're 13-13. It could have been the opposite. I mean, we could be, 7 and whatever our record would be. Now. So
absolutely.
We're still right. I mean, we're still there. We're not 5 games back. We just got to start playing better baseball.
And a good chance to start playing that better baseball today. You turn to Jesus Luzardo on the mound, a guy that has been arguably your best pitcher this season. Him and Zach Wheeler really have been, leading this rotation to start the year. Luzardo 2-0 on the season to start. 3 of his 5 starts this season, quality starts on the year. He's a guy that can really fill up the strike zone. What do you like from Jesus Luzardo that you've seen so far this year, Tommy?
Well, first of all, his health. Him being healthy. And I think that was a huge thing coming into spring training, getting him going. And, because when you start dealing with back issues, you see what's going on with Ranger. It could carry on, because you're not just talking about, you're talking about your legs, your back, your core, your arm. It leads into different things, because if you're not using your legs, you're asking for a train wreck. So it was good to see him healthy and have a good spring throwing the ball, his velocity back up, and that's the big case. Not that it's great to see his velocity, but you don't have to, people are all caught up. I think they're caught up in it, and it's great to have it if you got it. But what it comes down to is command, guys. It is commanding that velocity, or commanding the velocity you have, and staying out of the middle of the plate. You can get away with something out of the middle of the plate, if you got the velocity a little bit more, but that's not the say-all be-all, and we'll get in a little bit more, with the other guys, but Luzardo has thrown the ball exceptionally well, I thought, with the breaking ball that I guess they were working on during spring training. You really saw the thing.
Yep.
The thing about that with him, I think he's just got to visualize the break.
Yep.
And to get more consistent to visualize, because sometimes the times he's been hurt, I think it's been because he's got flat with it, and the right-handers caught him, and that's what got him at one time. But overall, I mean, the numbers shows you how he's pitching. So, he's pitching very well, and it's good to have that consistency, So we can get on to talk about the pitching staff, but he's been a pleasant surprise, and that's why we're all asking for is health. Right. If you can be on the mound and take your post every time you're called upon, you got half the game whooped, or 70% of the game whooped, and the rest of it, go out there and just do your best you can.
That's right. That's right. Well, with Jesus Luzardo, they've had no problems getting offensive run support for him this season. Tom, last time we were here, we talked about that with the Phillies. You want to see consistent hard contact off the bats, and
Arguably the best way to win.
right, absolutely. And when we're talking about this Phillies offense specifically, they've struggled. We talked about the runners in scoring position, but a guy that's really struggling over the course of late has been Trey Turner, and he's got a ton of money underneath his contract. What do you think it is with Trey that you're seeing maybe that could be something that's off with him? It seems like his timing maybe might be a little bit off, but he's a key part of this team, and he's going to have to get things going if the Phillies are going to make the playoffs this season.
Excellent point, Mike. When you look at a guy like Trey Turner, he has to build that confidence within himself to begin as a starter. And then the fans, obviously, they're behind him 100%. When he did fall a little last year during the season, the fans stepped up and they showed their support for his abilities, knowing what they could believe in him. And Turner, we want to see strong defensive tactics out there with him. And there's no doubt he's got one of the strongest eyes, Tommy, coming across the plate with all the stuff that these pitchers are throwing.
And it's, it's hard to say what's going on. Nobody knows what's going on in the mind of the hitter or the player on the field out there. You can assume, we can assume it. You know what they say about assumptions. So, how does, things affect a guy, big money like he got coming in? Is he putting the heat on himself because he wants to do that well? I don't know him personally enough to know the makeup of the guy.
Right.
All I can talk about is what I see.
What you're seeing, yeah.
And sometimes it looks like he's pressing or jumpy. He's swinging, but to me, sometimes before the ball comes out. But it's hard. So, like you say, the guys throw, everybody throws hard. It's not that we didn't throw hard back in the day. Wasn't as many guys that threw hard.
Right.
You run into these guys all the time, and I just think you get in modes, especially when you're not seeing it, picking up spin.
Yep.
Yeah. You don't have but just a millisecond, really.
But that's been
just to
something
do it. That's it. You get jumpy, and I always can tell how Harper's doing.
Right.
When he stops falling towards first base dugout, he's okay.
Yeah.
Because he's staying on balls, and he can go to left.
Right.
Or left center. Because when he's not, he's done. Sometimes a tough lefty can put you in a bad place.
Yeah.
Because you're not used to seeing. They see more lefties now than we used to back in the day.
Right. Right.
You got somebody like Sale, some of the guys that got the nice slider and stuff like that. It's just like guys back cucking him facing Randy Johnson and or the Candyman back in the day. There's some left-handers took some days off when those guys pitched. You know what I mean? So.
My old age, I might remember Jim Bunning.
Oh, yeah, long, lanky. Guys that give you. Look at Drysdale and the guys. And Gibson. Look at his angle. The way. This. Low three quarters. Out here. It can make you give a little bit if it. Depends on what kind. And if they were mean on top of it, back in the day, hey, there wasn't no digging in. I got a good story about that. I can kind of hit on that real quick. You're talking about Gibson back in the day in St. Louis. I happened to be my hitting coach when I was with Houston, organization a little bit one year. At the end of my career, I got to pitch. Get to know Jimmy Wynn, the toy cannon, right? And he told me the story. He said he went in. He was, in St. Louis, and he was young. He goes and gets in the box. And he's digging his hole and trying to get in like that, and he's looking, and the catcher's just looking up at him. He looks back, what you looking at? And he says, and the catcher says, what do you do, digging your grave? What are you doing, digging your grave? And he looked out on the mound. It was Gibson out on the mound. He covered the hole back up, he told me. I covered the hole back up. He said the first pitch, I was on my back. It was unbelievable the way they play. It's just the way we played the game.
Yeah.
That's the way,
commanding the inside part of the plate. That was
the way to do it. But those guys got flipped in your hold all the time. You had to get out. It's not. You don't see it no more. Everybody takes offense when the ball's off the plate in.
Right.
And then there's a way to do it. I don't want to hurt nobody, hit somebody in the face or stuff like that. But balls do get away.
Yep.
Because I learned quick, you can't place that ball inside. You got to throw it through there. in that place you're looking, you know? It's not a perfect thing. We're not perfect, you know? So the hitter's got a job too. He's got to do it correctly. If he's opening up cheating on you, bad things can happen for him if I'm coming in, the ball kind of runs up, you know, a little bit. I mean, but he's got a way to do things too. He can protect himself. So, I mean, the game is the game now, you know, but they're dealing with guys that's high velocity, high, you know, and stuff like that. But the game, as far as being able to pinch it side, you know, we do that. But that was one of the stories about Jimmy Wynn. I thought it was pretty cool. So.
You mentioned something with the hard throwing in today's game. It's more frequent, more common than
Yeah.
you know, back when you were playing, of course. But you know, a guy like Luzardo from the left side, they say that the ball comes out a little bit quicker, a little bit faster out of the left-handed pitcher's hand, maybe a little bit. It looks a little bit different from time to time.
Well, you don't see it as often. I know back in the day. Yeah,
Right.
I mean, you don't see it as much. I mean, I used to hit too, you know, as being a pitcher, and I like left-handed pitching. I felt like I knew I had to stay on them.
Right.
Because the ball tended, I mean, obviously it was going to run away. Sure. You had to stay up. I don't want to call it leaning, but I call it staying on them longer, you know. I mean, you know, and being willing, my thought was to stay, you know, second base to right center. That's what I was thinking. And that way, if he messed up, which they did, they hit a couple home runs off breaking, but he messed up and he hung the ball that coming in, you let your hands react to trust in your hands, not trying to force it. Back to Trey, sometimes he looks like he's trying to force it.
Yeah.
You know, force that swing, force that contact, you know. And I mean, I just think sometimes when you're able to watch guys play that are good at that stuff, and I think Stott's got the ability to be a good, that type, let it happen type thing. He got in that mode where he was trying to force, looked like he was getting big trying to do things. And now when they moved up top of the lineup, he started coming around doing the things that he showed in his, his freshman year, his rookie year. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think he's going to be, I mean, I really like his approach and what he's doing. I like Baum's approach, you know. It's just, every cat's different. The mentality, the mental makeup's a little bit different sometimes, you know, so.
Well, we've got a lot of good stuff planned for you on the Baseball Insider Show today, talking hard throwers on the mound. You got Ben Brown for the Cubs. He can get up towards 100 miles an hour. Luzardo sitting around 97, 98 with his fastball. Two hard-throwing starters on the bump today. We'll dive deeper into that pitching matchup on the other side. A quick timeout here on the Baseball Insider Show. You can watch us live on YouTube, as well as tune in at 1490 AM, 107.3 FM, alongside Tommy Greene and Tom Mellon from Team Toyota. My name is Mike Warren. We'll be right back. You're watching the Baseball Insider Show here on WBCB.
Hi, Paul Muller from Team Toyota of Langhorne.
Approved.
All right. With over 7,200 square feet of 200 brewers in stock at all times, Pantheon Beverages now features 5 different flavors of their favorite slushy cocktails. You can also purchase all your wine, liquor, and other fine spirits right next door. Visit us on Facebook or online at PantheonBeverages.com for upcoming events and samples from your favorite brewery or local food vendor.
Yeah, it's high.
Energy costs are skyrocketing. Now's the time to upgrade your old heater and air conditioning systems to more efficient units to save on your utility bills. Harris Comfort can also handle all your propane needs, as well as providing sales and service on whole house generators. Harris Comfort is still family owned and has been serving our area for over 60 years, providing sales, service, installation, and peace of mind. Call 215-788-4596 or go to harriscomfort.com. Harris Comfort, still family and still local.
Head out to Dion Square, located at South Oxford Valley and South Olds Boulevard, to get all your essentials in one place, with the following businesses ready to serve you: Pat Dion Beverages, CVS Pharmacy, Hair Cuttery, Smile Culture Dental, Biomat, Liberty Auto Tags, Pennsylvania Fine Wine and Spirits, Lee's Hoagie House, R&J Smoothies and Juices, AutoZone, and First National Bank and Trust of Newtown. Make Dion Square your one stop for all your shopping needs at South Oxford Valley Road and South Olds Boulevard in Fairless Hills.
My son Aiden has asthma. Secondhand smoke has triggered his asthma so bad to the point where he had to end up in the emergency room. And he has spent multiple nights in intensive care. Now he's on a whole bunch of medications. My tip to you is, don't be shy to tell people not to smoke around your kids.
4 out of 10 U.S. kids are exposed to secondhand smoke. If you or someone you know wants free help to quit smoking, call 1-800-QUIT-NOW. A message from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention.
We now return to the Baseball Insider Show, presented by BCWSA. Once again, here are your hosts, Phillies Director of Fun and Games, John Brazier, and former pitcher from the '93 National League champion Phillies, Tommy Greene.
Mike Warren filling in for John Brazier. Tommy Greene,
I'm here
this afternoon with us on the Baseball Insider Show, and the Phillies in desperate need of a win. 5 straight losses heading into this afternoon's festivities with the Cubs, and Ben Brown, we alluded to him before going to the commercial break, another hard-throwing righty on the mound today for the Cubs. Early success in Brown's career, a no-hitter, something you can relate to, Tommy, throwing one of those in your career as well, but it seems like the higher the velocity the pitcher presents, the more trouble or more problems that present towards this Phillies lineup. High heat has really been a problem for these bats of late.
Well, I mean, it's tough to get on top of it. These days, the way to me, you look at it, things have changed. Obviously, the strike zone is a little bit different, I think, compared to the past. It's a little bit higher.
Yep.
Which I wish it was higher back when I was, because I would have. I feel like I would have done pretty well in this standards today, because my ball wanted to be up there. I was a velocity guy, a fastball guy that I didn't sink it. So mine was more of a up there. I was always taught, and still I think it goes well today. Command early down so you can pitch up late.
Right.
You change the eye levels all the time. I mean, different things. The hitter can't sit on things, which is tough. I mean, anytime you're dealing with guys that are pitching well, that are high velocity guys, that means they're commanding what they're doing and they're having success. If they're doing well.
Absolutely.
And so it can be tough on guys, especially if they get off to a good start in the game and they get locked in early. It can make for a long day, So we got to capitalize on the mistakes that he made. And when you're going good, you hit those mistakes. And right now it seems like of late, of the last week or more, except for one game where we scored 11 runs, and 18 hits.
Yeah.
We foul those ones off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the pitcher gets a reprieve, and I ain't making that mistake again. Yeah. I mean, because we make mistakes, and it's all about getting away with them sometimes. And sometimes you go through stretches where you get away with them, and there's others you don't. So right now we're not getting away with it a lot.
The Phillies definitely have 2 of the best mistake hitters in all of baseball, and Harper and Schwarber. They do a tremendous job of making pitchers pay. When you miss that spot that you're looking for, Harper and Schwarber, rarely do they not make you pay. It seems like during this stretch, though, they've been unable to do so. You alluded to it before, that with this team, the offensive struggles, but and of course, you're not in the locker room, but when you guys in '93, when you would go through these type of struggles, what would it be? Would it be sort of Darren Dalton kind of rallying the troops together and players only just talking? Would it be the training room? You guys would just kind of close the doors, let the media out, keep them out, and let's talk about what we need to do, what we can control, or what do you think this team needs to do? A little powwow, or what is it that's going to get them offensively back to where we've seen them as one of the perennial teams in the sport?
Well, I mean, it's not rocket science, guys. I mean, we're trying to find a remedy where they know the remedy. You got to fight through the bad times. You got to, and the key to fighting through the bad times is doing the fundamental things right,
right,
and not giving away runs or not giving away outs or anything like that. Play solid defense, doing the little things that give you the opportunity to do things. And then, it comes down to, the Braves did it for years and years. Nothing against our offensive side of things. They found ways. They tended to score runs late. They were never out of a ball game, far as they tended to come back. But they were, their pitching kept them there.
Yep.
And their defense up the middle helped keep them there.
Yes.
They didn't give away runs. That's pretty good things right there. If you do that right and not give away runs up the middle and stuff like that, and just keep being aggressive. Don't get timid and be aggressive. That don't mean trying to pull everything. Just have a good swing on the baseball.
Right.
And you're not trying to hit ground balls or anything like that or whatever. Just put a good swing on to hit it solid. If you hit it solid, it's going to, the good thing, you're going to line out. There's nothing telling me. I'd rather give up 27 line drive outs to the shortstop or center fielder. I'd look at you as you pass the mound on the way by, hang with them. We called them hard hang with them. As pitchers, outs and out,
Right.
But I'd rather be a little softer out than hard all the time. But everything's analytical now. They're putting numbers and things on everything.
Right.
And that's a double-edged sword. We had names and phrases for things rather than putting numbers. That ball was smoked. We didn't know it was 110 miles an hour off the bat or whatever.
Right. Well, it's funny you bring that up because last time we were here at Team Toyota for the Baseball Insider Show presented by BCWSA, Mickey Morandini was here, and he said, I think there is a philosophy upon modern-day hitters where more guys, if you asked them, they would rather take a hard line drive out versus a weak bloop single into the outfield, and that kind of shows you the similarities and the differences rather in the game today where you have guys like Mickey Morandini who played to the field at the vet, who could hit hard ground balls and could fight ones off the hands and place them over the infield. Well, in today's game, you don't really have guys looking to do that. You have them looking to do damage in every count, and that's just not how the game works.
Well, I know. It comes down to, that bloop single to everything. You don't see it in the paper.
Right.
All you see in the paper is there's a 1 for 4. That to me, that's a 1 for 4. That's a line drive to left.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
That's right.
Now, as a pitcher, I know I'm giving up that hit, and it's like, there's some solidness. Some satisfaction in knowing that, I go through a game. Let's say I pitch 7 innings, whatever. I count on one hand how many balls were hit hard off the bat, or there weren't 2 balls hit hard. The rest of them were, just in the right place.
Yep.
You know what I mean? There's some good things, but still they were hits.
Yep.
And people the pitch coach back in the minor league said, it was all the cheapy hits and freaking. He says, why do you think they were chippy hits? Why do you think they blooped over? He said, because the ball was up more.
Right.
In the zone.
Right.
If it was down more, it'd been a ground ball.
There you go.
There's ways of looking. There's way, and he was right. And he says, and he tell you, you're right too. It was good. It was a good enough pitch. You got in on him, and he said, why it did that was because of this. So it makes you think. There's always room for improvement.
Yes.
You don't get satisfied with things. We're still, never get too high, never get too low.
Absolutely.
I want them waves like that. And I don't want to be in a boat and flip over,
That's
going
right.
with the waves.
You want to keep it steady?
Yes.
Well, let's let our listeners know about Septa. They're hiring a variety of skilled trade positions, including mechanics, electricians, plumbers, masons, painters, carpenters, welders, millwrights, and more. As a Septa employee, you will earn competitive compensation and great benefits, including medical, dental, prescription, and pension. Visit jobs.septa.org to apply today. That's job.septa.org. Septa, proud to sponsor the Baseball Insider Show here on WBCB. A 500 baseball team in the Phillies, it's kind of surprising to be saying that at this juncture of the season with how exciting and how talented this roster is. Not just 1 through 9 in the lineup, but the rotation, how they bolstered it this offseason, adding a guy like a Jesus Luzardo, Taijuan Walker having the spring training that he did. You look at yesterday, if Taijuan Walker doesn't have a 37-pitch first inning, he's probably going a little bit deeper into that game.
We needed to.
Absolutely.
But there's some things that happened, and I didn't see them, but I heard. He could have been out of that, without having to throw that many pitches. So, but that's when it comes back. We're talking about picking up our guys.
Right.
He got out of that inning bottom line without giving up any runs. So, he did a good job at minimizing the damage, so to speak. Yeah.
So we talked about Jesus Luzardo. A guy that we mentioned just very briefly was Bryson Stott at the top of this lineup. The number of pitches he sees at bat, it doesn't matter where you put him into the lineup. He averages between 5 to 7 pitches per at bat.
That's awesome, dude.
Tremendous stuff for the guy in the on-deck circle to be able to see how the pitcher is attacking him. But also, being Trey Turner, you're a similar kind of player as Stott. Although you bat from the right side, you have good speed, you hit for great contact, you can take the extra base if you hit one into a gap. So for Trey Turner kind of getting to hit behind Stott and see all these pitches, it's really only a matter of time before he really starts to piece things together, you think?
Well, you can see a pitcher's repertoire if Stott can get it out of him. You know what I mean? That's what was so amazing about Lenny Dykstra back in the day. I remember hearing guys tell him, he said, "Hey, dude, what's this guy got?" He says, "You'll know after I'm done. After mine bat."
There you go.
And he'd work. I mean, there was times see strike one, strike two. He'd work. Work a walk,
Right.
I mean, work a walk, not just 4 pitches later. I'm talking 7 or 8 pitches later. Yeah. So he was, 9 to 10 pitch at bat right off the bat, and you've seen everything in the arsenal that day.
Yeah.
Already, the first bat. So it's a huge thing. You got a guy, on deck gets to see that, but then you get up to plate. Then it's all about, is he picking up the guy? Where's he picking it up at? And I don't know. I mean, the approach,
right.
The things, the way they're taking. I'm under the common thing when we're scuffling a little bit. You have to stay up the middle. If you stay up the middle, that means you're telling yourself subconsciously. You're telling yourself you're waiting on it just to tick longer.
Yep.
You're seeing it a little bit, hopefully a little bit better.
Right.
And when you start seeing it better. You can try, if the ball gets in your zone, that happy zone. I mean, you hope your hands react to do it, unless you're trying to force a big swing, or try to yank it. I mean, you just. I'm not a hitter these days in how to do things, but you have to be geared to hit the fastball, and stay on. I think if you're geared to hit the fastball up the middle or the right center as a right-hander. It gives you the possibility of fouling off a decent breaking ball, or especially if he gets it over the plate, doing some real damage to that breaking ball. And then you got to trust your hands that you start picking it up good. That fastball gets bigger because you're seeing it,
right?
And it slows down for you a little bit, and your hands react, bang, and you get around on it a little bit earlier without even thinking about it,
right?
So it's a huge thing. The game's got a strange and sometimes awful way of humbling you.
Yeah.
No matter how good you think you are.
That's right.
It's I think the baseball guys just throw that bolt of lightning and just try this on for size, type thing. Same way in golf. The humble pie comes down.
That's right.
And it brings you back down.
It's the only game that can really bring you to your knees and dissatisfaction, but the next day can have you singing its praises with a walk-off hit or whatever you can contribute to the sport as well. Another quick timeout here on the Baseball Insider Show alongside Tommy Greene. My name is Mike Warren. The Baseball Insider Show brought to you by BCWSA. We are here live from Team Toyota in Langhorne on Business Route 1. Great to be with you guys. Phillies and Cubs, Game 2 of 3 coming up in just a little bit on WBCB, a part of the Phillies Radio Network. Don't go anywhere. The Baseball Insider Show continues next.
Hi, Paul Muller from Team Toyota of Langhorne. If you've been waiting to buy your next pre-owned vehicle due to surging used car prices, then we have some great news for you. With over 45 used cars under $20,000, we have something for every budget. Plus, with our MVP pricing guarantee, warranty forever, and free maintenance for 1 year, you can rest assured that you're getting a reliable used car at a great price. Visit us in Langhorne on Route 1 or shop online at teamlanghorne.com.
Hey BCWSA customers, this is Tommy Greene from the 1993 National League Champion Phillies. My friends at BCWSA are committed to providing us with safe, reliable water and sewer services. They operate state-of-the-art treatment facilities, provide clean drinking water, and make much-needed investments to protect our environment and ensure a sustainable future. Learn how BCWSA's investments help grow and serve our communities. Visit bcwsa.net. BCWSA, prove it.
With over 7,200 square feet of 200 brewers in stock at all times, Pat Dion Beverages now features 5 different flavors of their favorite slushy cocktails. You can also purchase all your wine, liquor, and other fine spirits right next door. Visit us on Facebook or online at patdionbeverages.com for upcoming events and samples from your favorite brewery or local food vendor. Energy costs are skyrocketing. Now is the time to upgrade your old heater and air conditioning systems to more efficient units to save on your utility bills. Harris Comfort can also handle all your propane needs, as well as providing sales and service on whole house generators. Harris Comfort is still family owned and has been serving our area for over 60 years, providing sales, service, installation, and peace of mind. Call 215-788-4596 or go to harriscomfort.com. Harris Comfort, still family and still local.
Head out to Dion Square, located at South Oxford Valley and South Olds Boulevard, to get all your essentials in one place, with the following businesses ready to serve you: Pat Dion Beverages, CVS Pharmacy, Hair Cuttery, Smile Culture Dental, Biomat, Liberty Auto Tags, Pennsylvania Fine Wine and Spirits, Lee's Hoagie House, R&J Smoothies and Juices, AutoZone, and First National Bank and Trust of Newtown. Make Dion Square your one stop for all your shopping needs at South Oxford Valley Road and South Olds Boulevard in Fairless Hills.
WBCB is now on your FM dial at 107.3, serving Bucks, Burlington, and Mercer counties since 1957. You can now listen to all your WBCB favorites crystal clear on 107.3 FM, a new age for WBCB on a new frequency, 107.3.
We now return to the Baseball Insider Show, presented by BCWSA. Once again, here are your hosts, Phillies Director of Fun and Games, John Brazier, and former pitcher from the '93 National League champion Phillies, Tommy Greene.
Mike Warren in for John Brazier. Great to be with you. The Phillies and the Cubs coming up in just a little bit here on WBCB as the Baseball Insider Show presented by BCWSA continues live here from Team Toyota in Langhorne. Watch us live on YouTube at WBCB Sports or tune in at 1490 AM, 107.3 FM. Tommy, let's take a dive into this pitching this season for the Phillies, because the quality starts have been there. The complimentary pitching hasn't been there at times, but one thing we were just talking about quickly off the air was limiting the hits in these innings and lowering the whip for some of these pitchers. You look at some of the innings pitched and evaluating, are they keeping the hits underneath of that total number of innings pitched?
Yeah, I mean, that's ultimately, that's, if you can possibly do that, over the course of the season, that's pretty good. Yep. I mean, that's pretty good. Anytime it can tell you how it's going, because, if you're a hit an inning or more, that means base runners. Then if you walk guys, you know what I mean? Yep. That's extra base runners and with pressure situations and stuff like that. Now the key, if you're gonna give up hits, you're not really walking guys. Hey, you can, get away. You can get away with stuff. That's sort of like what Sanchez does. Yeah. A little bit. He gives up like a hit an inning, but he don't really walk. He pitch. He's more pitch to contact type guy, but he strikes guys out because his changeup's so nasty, and he throws. He throws hard. So it's a double-edged sword sometimes with it. We got some guys that it's sort of concerning right now. Nola being one in particular. What a great guy he is, and he's a pitcher. To me, he's like an artist, and because he doesn't throw as hard as this year as he has in the past, and so when you sort of lose some ticks on the gun, which is, to me, that's not to say all be all. Don't mean you can't pitch. That means your mistakes have got to be in good areas. Yep. Rather than less than over the middle of the zone. Missing more out of the zone. So it's all about your misses. It's just like golf. Do you miss in the woods or the water? There you go. All the time, or do you leave yourself a shot? Right. No matter, you can miss it left or right and whatever. You won't be perfect. Do you leave yourself a shot, a way to recover? Yeah. And it's that way. It's the same way pitching. But it's not. You hang a pitch. You hang a pitch. Now, does it tend to hang bad enough where it's hard to hit hanger, or does it hang up in the middle place where it says "hit me"? Right. Right. And then it's up to the hitter if he swings and fouls it off. Which when you're going bad, you tend to. Yeah. And when you're going good, you don't miss it. And that's the key to hitting in the big leagues, is hitting the mistakes. If everybody threw it where they wanted to all the time, They'd have a ton, dude. They would not like it, dude.
Yeah, you wouldn't see too many home runs, and you
Yeah.
probably wouldn't hear any of those conversations about the juiced baseballs as much.
no.
That's for sure.
No.
But when you talk about Nola and his struggles this season, I mean, he said it himself. It's unacceptable where the standard that he holds himself to, and the city itself, the fan base, where they kind of see him. He's been, at one point this was our ace of the rotation. Now, you bring Wheeler in. He's a bona fide number 2. He's a guy that has been up there in terms of most innings pitched for the last 3 seasons. You think that's really starting to take a toll on his arm? You're seeing that dip down in velocity. I mean, 200-plus innings pitched 3 years in a row.
Well, it's not a natural act to throw a baseball. I mean, you're trying to keep yourself in the best shape. As you start getting older, things change.
Yep.
But I don't mean you're hoping to keep your velocity the best you can. There's some freaks out there like Nolan Ryan, that pitch all the year and still, but still, that don't mean you can't pitch.
Right.
And it's about execution. Do we know? We don't know how everybody's feeling out there on the days. What's going on with them too, health-wise. We really don't.
Yeah.
People might think, but sometimes they're going through some things. I mean, they're battling, and sometimes they just things happen like that. But with Nolan, we talk about the hits above innings and stuff like that, and you can see with him that's what it is. He's 6 or 7 hits above innings right now,
Yeah.
and that's he doesn't have 28 innings and 5 starts.
Right.
Which is he just is averaging over 5 innings of starts, which is for most of the guys, the only one that I think is above that is I think Luzardo might be 5-star. He's 6 innings and Wheeler 6 innings. And even Sanchez is not, because he had a shorter outing last time. But we haven't, as far as going deeper in games, we're used to seeing Nola and Wheeler going.
Yeah, 6, 7, 8
you go
innings.
through those stretches. Maybe this is the time that they're going through. Nola's going through his stretch early in the season and struggling. Unless he could get hot and roll off 15 straight, quality good starts.
Yeah.
And right there, it's just like anything. We could win the next 5 ball games. We're 18 and 13. Hey, we look good.
Is there
You know what I
anything
mean?
that-
It's that time. It's the way you look at things sometimes, Ren. You got a choice.
Right.
We're not playing good right now, so it's easy to go down the rabbit hole. Or do you say, hey, I choose to be a little bit on the positive side right here, and how do you get out of this rabbit hole? You have to be positive. Hey,
Right.
You look at the good side of things and the bright side of things. Hey, I'm busting my tail and putting myself in a good position to succeed.
Well, that's what you're hearing from Rob Thompson. He's saying those things that, this baseball team has the makeup and has the background of guys that know that they are good baseball players. It's just a matter of getting that confidence back and reminding them that you were once one of the best teams in not just the National League, the entire sport. You were an offense that was feared by all 29 other teams. It's just a matter of getting back to that.
That was
point.
10 games ago.
Right, it was. I mean,
that was 10 games ago.
Yeah.
They started off 7 and 2. I mean, they were one of the best teams in baseball.
That Dodgers series, you leave that Dodgers series and you look at it from the outside looking in, and the mainstream media picture is that, well, the Phillies are better than the Dodgers because they just beat them, and that's the best team ever constructed in the sport.
I love the fans, man. I love the analyst. The talk radio. I really do.
Yeah.
You hear it all the time. Everything's it's today.
Yeah.
It's not, dude. This is a war.
Right.
I just want to win the battle today.
Yeah, that's right.
We got a war that's going on for 162 games.
That's right.
You want to survive it. You want to live to make it through it all. And there's going to be some ups and downs in there, but you don't want them to be that big ones.
Right.
So now it's time, to do the things. How did we talk about it a little bit earlier? How do you get out of this rut to where they're at? Yeah, hitting's one thing. It's a tough thing to do. But hitters are going to hit. Opposing teams are going to hit. What can we do better? Okay, make the routine play. Don't give away outs. Take the extra base when we get the opportunity.
Right.
Maybe be a little bit more aggressive on the base when we do get on it.
Right.
We got some speed.
Yeah.
Are
we using it?
Yeah. There's some things that can happen. That's what I heard from Stock and them yesterday a little bit. He's right, because, speed kills.
Well, that was
speed drives a pitcher nuts. What I mean?
That was the one thing they did in that Dodger series. They set the tone in Game 1. I believe it was Yamamoto on the mound for the Dodgers, and Trey Turner gets on second base in the bottom of the first inning, and he's not even completely set yet on the mound, and Trey Turner's taking off for third. They go to pick off at third, throw sails over third baseman's head. Trey comes around to score the first run. That's setting the tone, and that's such a big thing. Scoring first in baseball is such a big thing. Getting not just the first run across, but sustaining that offense afterwards.
I don't think we walk some of our big guys. But to me, I don't think they've walked as much,
right,
as they have. They've been striking out more. But there's more than one way to skin a cat. And anytime you can push across a run early, like in the first inning, I keep going back to Doxter. He was best in the business. He could work. He could work a walk. He could get a base hit and get on. He'd steal second, get him over, get him in.
Yep.
We'd score a run without getting hit.
That's right.
We'd go to the bottom of the first inning. I'd be going out, pitch the first inning. We're up 1-0. We ain't got a hit. We've done the little things the right way, and you're up 1-0.
Control what you
what's
control.
The difference? I don't care. It'd be great to beat everybody by 6 or 7 runs each time, but at bottom line, after 9 innings, you win by 1 run. It's a huge. It's a win. It might as well be 10.
It's massive.
So and there's more than a way to skin a cat to score that run. So I think we're caught up in the power and the numbers and the velocities and all that stuff, rather than go out there and execution of how to win a ball game. So
maybe today we'll see some of that small ball implemented and some of that speed on the base paths, trying to take the extra 90, trying to make players make plays. It's such a big part of the game as well. Make the fielder have to make the play, make them make the throw, a big aspect of the game as well. We'll let you know about Septa. Again, consider a career at Septa. Septa relies on and needs bus operators, train engineers, and conductors. As a Septa employee, you will earn competitive compensation and great benefits, including medical, dental, prescription, and pension. Visit jobs.septa.org to apply today. That is jobs.septa.org. One final timeout here on the Baseball Insider Show presented by BCWSA, live from Team Toyota in Langhorne. He's Tommy Greene. I'm Mike Warren. Phillies and Cubs coming up in just a little bit on WBCB. One final segment here on the Baseball Insider Show coming up next.
Hi, Paul Muller from Team Toyota of Langhorne. If you've been waiting to buy your next pre-owned vehicle due to surging used car prices, then we have some great news for you. With over 45 used cars under $20,000, we have something for every budget. Plus, with our MVP pricing guarantee, warranty forever, and free maintenance for 1 year, you can rest assured that you're getting a reliable used car at a great price. Visit us in Langhorne on Route 1 or shop online at teamlanghorne.com.
This is Tommy Greene from the 1993 National League champion Phillies. Every champion needs a good game plan. BCWSA and I want to make sure you have a game plan when it comes to conserving our most precious resource, water. Whether you're washing dishes, brushing your teeth, or watering your garden, there are ways you can save water and save money. Visit bcwsa.net for tips on conserving water. BCWSA, proven.
With over 7,200 square feet of 200 brewers in stock at all times, Pat Dion Beverages now features 5 different flavors of their favorite slushy cocktails. You can also purchase all your wine, liquor, and other fine spirits right next door. Visit us on Facebook or online at patdionbeverages.com for upcoming events and samples from your favorite brewery or local food vendor. Energy costs are skyrocketing. Now is the time to upgrade your old heater and air conditioning systems to more efficient units to save on your utility bills. Harris Comfort can also handle all your propane needs, as well as providing sales and service on whole house generators. Harris Comfort is still family owned and has been serving our area for over 60 years, providing sales, service, installation, and peace of mind. Call 215-788-4596 or go to harriscomfort.com. Harris Comfort, still family and still local.
Head out to Dion Square, located at South Oxford Valley and South Olds Boulevard, to get all your essentials in one place, with the following businesses ready to serve you: Pat Dion Beverages, CVS Pharmacy, Hair Cuttery, Smile Culture Dental, Biomat, Liberty Auto Tags, Pennsylvania Fine Wine and Spirits, Lee's Hoagie House, R&J Smoothies and Juices, AutoZone, and First National Bank and Trust of Newtown. Make Dion Square your one stop for all your shopping needs at South Oxford Valley Road and South Olds Boulevard in Fairless Hills.
We now return to the Baseball Insider Show, presented by BCWSA. Once again, here are your hosts, Phillies Director of Fun and Games, John Brazier, and former pitcher from the '93 National League champion Phillies, Tommy Greene.
Mike Warren in for John Brazier. Tommy Greene to my left, Tom Mellon to my right. A great day here at Team Toyota in Langhorne, and the Phillies looking to snap their 5-game losing skid. And let's take a look at the Smart Stat of the Week, brought to you by Payroll Service Solutions. It's time now for the Smart Stat of the Week. Payroll Service Solutions, give them a call today at 1-866-PAY-EASY. That's 1-866-PAY-EASY. 10 2/3 innings of work for Jesus Luzardo against the Cubs in his career. 10 strikeouts. The stat of the day, the number 10, similar to John Brazier picking one number. I'm sticking with one number. 10 Ks and 10 2/3 innings of work against the Cubs for Luzardo in 3 starts. Looking to make another impactful start. 3 of his last 4 starts have been quality outings, Tommy, and we mentioned the pitching. He's going to have to build off of that today.
Well, I mean, you're exactly right there. Somebody's got to be a stopper and turn it around. Not necessarily he's got to win. We have to win.
Right.
I think it's a win day for us because he's been one of the steady eddies on the mound for us so far, and and I think he's capable of giving that type of outing to us. I know back in the day, going to Wrigley Field, if you kept the ball on the ground, you had a big time chance of doing some things because that infield grass was like up to my shins. It was. I mean, you had to hit it out of a bazooka or cannon. You shoot it out of a cannon to get it through the infield. I mean, so it was a huge thing. Why do you think Maddox and all those guys did? I mean, but because you get the ball up in the air there, with the wind blowing out, it goes.
It's fun.
I mean, and then also you can look. How many times did you ever see Ryan Sandberg dive?
That's a good point.
Head first at a ball.
It's true.
That's a very good point.
What did he do? He slid a lot. You right? Remember,
okay.
He almost like he knew it was going to slow down. He could. It was less time. He could catch it, pop up, whatever.
Make the throw.
I never saw him dirty on the front of his uniform. But no, that's just the way it is.
Sure.
Well, yesterday the extra base hits piling up for the Cubs, even with that wind that was whipping from all over the place. I mean, just a complete vortex of wind when you go into Wrigley Field. You don't know what direction it's going to stay in. More times than not, as you have alluded to, Tommy, it doesn't stay in one direction, the wind, while you're there. But
you can't give up on it. If it goes up in the air, you cannot give up on that ball there.
But the Cubs had no problem yesterday generating extra base hits. Yeah. The Phillies seem like they are pressing almost at times at the dish. What do you think it takes for them to kind of start to, like we talked about before, going to that most recent break, implement the small ball, bunt the guy over, get the guy in scoring position with less than 2 outs?
Well, every day's a new day, and sometimes you have to hit a reset button in yourself. I know as a pitcher, I only can say that for myself. When things start getting out of control out there a little bit, start getting fast, things just not happening the way you want them to happen. I know back in, before all the implements, don't get me started on the way the rules and stuff are now. That we'll go down the rabbit hole with that one quick. To be able to step off the back of the mound and remember, hey, I got control of what I'm doing. Reinforce the positive, what I'm trying to accomplish this next pitch, what I want to do with it. And the more you reinforce positive things, the better chance you got of pulling them off.
Good point.
And do that.
Point.
And then it comes down to the rules today. I think it's took away some of that cat and mouse game a little bit. Where I'm able to take a step back and gather myself a little bit more. The hitter's able, when he's not seeing, to take that little bit. Because as a pitcher, when you're going and you're throwing strikes, you're commanding what you're doing. It was the hitter's job. They wanted to break our rhythm, break our timing.
Right.
Now, what was their way of doing that? Time, step out. And it was our job as pitchers is don't let them in here.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, get up there. Hey, you can take all the time you want. You're getting the same dose. It doesn't matter. And that's a mentality. And I think we just got to get into the mentality again. It's almost like you see them play and you're just like, they're expecting the worst rather than expecting the best.
Yeah.
Type thing. But hitting's contagious. It doesn't take but one little thing, to get it going. Just like a guy on a 0 for 17 streak, bust a bat in half or gets one of them little dying quails that over in, to me, that's a line drive in the book.
That's right.
The next day, it starts a hitting streak.
It's a wonderful thing.
Starts a hitting streak. So.
Well, Tom, last time you were on, you said you wanted to see more consistent contact from the Phillies and more consistent offense. A 5-game losing skid. What do you want to see today from the Phillies that you think is going to give them this victory that gets them off the schneid?
Several components. Obviously, the defense out there has to play strong. They got to make sure that they're doing the diligent work that's required of them.
Absolutely.
It's not all the bullpen, although Mike Schmitty made a comment. He says, we'll go as far as our bullpen and our pitchers can take us. But the bats got to come. They got to be loud as well. So
yes,
it's a
they got to work hand in hand.
Yes.
I mean, they got to pick each other up because
yes.
you're going to have times when that happens. There's going to be some low-scoring games where pitcher have to,
Yeah.
We have to. You have to keep it right there. One swing of bat, a walk, and a bloop hit scores a run.
Absolutely.
Because you take that extra base or steal a base, or something like that happens. So, and there's other times the hitter is going to score 10 runs, but still you got to keep the other team from scoring runs too.
Yes.
I mean, you can't get lackadaisical out there.
I'm guilty of myself of I'm watching some of the pitches that they're taking. But it's not fair because you as a pitcher, you understand how that ball, looks like it's coming straight in, and now it's dropping.
Yeah, I mean,
you only have a quick decision
movements
to make.
and stuff, and everything's, is how they're seeing it. Are they picking it up early?
Yes.
They're studying the pitchers and stuff like that. With their repertoires and what they do. I mean, the key to us is not falling into a pattern. I mean. People knew what they were getting from me a lot. If I threw 100 pitches, I probably threw 70 fastballs.
Okay.
So at least 65.
Yes.
Yep. I was hard. But I went hard all the time. I was like, the discrepancy in your breaking pitches, is the break timing, of the hitters, but it's also the best pitch in baseball is a fastball.
Yep.
It's a well-located fastball. It doesn't have to be perfect.
No.
People talk about spots. I think it narrows you down. I'd rather, instead of thinking of the spot, I think about it as a little doorway. Which one you got a better chance of doing it?
Yeah.
That's a
Throwing
good
it
point.
through a doorway,
yes.
You tend to free up and throw it through it rather less than just to it.
Well, one thing too.
That reminds me of my grandmother. We used to play catch. She used to squat down and catch me until I was 13 years old.
Yep.
Wow.
I love this story, Tommy.
And I've used this on the mound before when I've lost the zone. You kind of you get out of whack a little bit. I'd step off the mound. I could hear her voice in my head going, "Throw through the mitt, Tommy, not to it."
Yep.
Throw through it, not to it. That means you free up unless you're trying to. You get a little short. Placing it. Just throw it through it. It's freeing you up. It's a lot of it's the way you look at things and phrase things, and you got to find out the jobs of pitching coaches and hitting coaches is to find that terminology and how that guy understands them and puts forth to what they're doing out on the mound or in the box. Sure. How they do that.
What's funny about that story is that a couple years ago, while I was up with a different radio station in Westchester, I had Tommy on my radio show at the time, and my former baseball coach had crossed paths with Tommy and had shared that story with me.
Really?
Sort of an insight to kind of ask him on the air. And I asked him, what did you learn from throwing to your grandmother and having her catch every day? And
it was easy.
One of the best answers I've ever gotten on the air to that day. And as soon as you started talking about it, I could remember right away having you on my show, and what a great time that was. But that is such a cool story because control, right? Anybody can throw. You can learn to throw hard in today's world of baseball, but contrling that velocity is what makes you a good pitcher.
What's it going to cost you about trying to throw it as hard as you can all the time? And is a trade-off a little bit. It's good to have that velocity. If it comes naturally, that's a great thing.
Sure.
But is your command there? Are you tending to be over the middle of the dish? If you're going this way and doing this, and still throwing 96, 97, rather less trying to reach back and throw 100, it's good to have that.
Sure.
It's good to have that. There's times where I don't want to throw a strike. I can care less if I throw a strike. I want him to see it up here at 100.
Yeah.
That just lets him know. Or sometimes I've been up there throwing hard, and he knows he's got to get it out early. He sees that ball up here. They tend to see it better when it's up.
Yep.
Because it looks this size of my head, which is huge, you know, and they think they can get on top of it.
Yeah.
You know, now you got to know who you're dealing with.
That's right.
You deal with somebody like Andre Dawson, he can get on top of it. Wow. The Hawk can get on, but the guy up a ball up in the zone that's above that box now, up there, it's hard to get up on top of that thing a little bit. You know, so, and that's what you're dealing with. That's the art of the game a little bit. You know, the key to it is knowing how to do that. You know, how to do that.
Yeah,
you know,
the
and when to do that.
Sure.
You know, that's what made Schilling so great. I mean, he commanded that fastball.
Yeah.
And there was time he get in game, he's boom, boom, and he throws, and all of a sudden, pow! There was 3 or 4 extra, or 3 mile extra on it. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, it was.
That makes a big difference.
It's reach back. I mean, it's not that he was trying. I mean, but it's being able to. You got it in to do it. You know.
Yep.
And, you know. So.
His ability to use his fastball, but to also set up his changeup, which people argue is the best, you know, off-speed pitch in all of baseball. Kurt Schilling was phenomenal at that. Arguably one of the best of all time.
One of the best big game pitchers I've ever seen.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys, a big game today. We've talked about it. 5-game losing streak entering today. You want to get back into the win column. Tommy, we'll start with you. The keys to victory today and your pick to click. Who's somebody you think that's going to stand out?
Do we know the lineup yet? I mean, I
can get that up for you.
I mean, we have to look at that. I mean, you got a hard throwing guy. I mean, somebody that's going to be. I've always been a Stott fan, but I mean, I think the big boys have got to start pulling a little bit. I think today's one of those type of days. I think Harper can do some damage, you know, with a guy like this.
Stole my thought.
Right-hander.
Yep.
I mean, and hopefully we can do it with the guys that are on. You know, we got not the solo jobs. You know, that's sort of like what's been happening to Nola when he seems to be giving up. It's been like 2-run homers, 3-run homers, and those are huge. I mean, that just breaks your back as a starting pitcher.
It does.
I don't mind giving up home runs.
Yep.
If they're solo, hey, you got a chance. Come back out of it, just like we talked about before. At Wrigley Field, I gave up 3 in one game, won 5-3. Pitched 8 innings, gave up 4 or 5 hits, and didn't walk nobody.
Oh, wonderful. That's key.
So pick the. I mean, it all comes down to me, like Wrigley Field, which way the wind's blowing today.
Yep.
You know, and I mean, to me, it comes down to the pitching side of it. You know, because we've been scuffling a little bit. If we pitch well, give us, don't let the game get like that. If we're right there. You know, it gives us a chance to win a close game, or 1 run makes a huge thing. You know, so I think the pitch side, Luzardo doing his job, just staying on that roll. That's a huge thing, and hopefully the bullpen comes in and does the job. You know.
So no lineup yet for the Phillies. Cubs have their lineup out as well, but Phillies still waiting to release their lineup yet today. I'm going to say as well, I think Harper, he's just got to come through big today. That is the guy that can really make things happen, and you lead from the front. When you see your best players going good, it can be contagious, like you mentioned, for the rest of the lineup as well.
Well, I'd like to see him going good because he's down around 240 right now. He's a better hitter than that.
That's where he is.
So I mean, I think he's doing. I think a right-hander that throws hard and stuff like that, he's going to stay on that guy. You know, I mean, as far as you're not going to see give ground. You know,
right?
And it's not that lefty that kind of puts him in a bad mode. You know, so. If he I mean, you can make hard out. I mean, there could be quality at bats and good at bats that you make outs in, and you're staying on pitches, and that's all confidence. He said, I'm seeing it good. I feel good. You know, and that's what we want from him.
Absolutely.
Let's hope that they can do that today. Let's hope that the hitting is contagious. The Phillies can snap a 5-game skid and get back into the win column. Game 2 against the Cubs coming up at 4 o'clock on WBCB. For my broadcast partners, Tommy Greene and Tom Mellon, my name is Mike Warren. You've been watching another edition of the Baseball Insider Show presented by BCWSA. Thank you so much for tuning in, and let's go Phils.
Go Phillies.
You're listening to 1490 WBCB and on your FM dial at 107.3 W297CL 11.